gold.
Nonsense.
The golden god!
And he dragged you two into this nonsense?
I volunteered.
Hell yeah. All right, I think it's on me this week.
It's definitely on you.
Okay. This is another presentation of the Multiverse's Greatest Podcast. I am your host, Mr. John Andrew Miller.
And I'm your co-host, Charlie Reifenberger.
And I am honored to say this is another edition of Golden Fucking Nonsense.
Golden Nonsense.
Golden Nonsense.
I am honored to introduce my friend and big cousin. Yeah. I Make Mad Beats. Y'all give it up for him, please. Oh, wrong one. There it is.
I want every one of them.
Yeah, he's an esteemed. He don't rap no more, but he's a producer amongst many other talents, and I'm happy to have him.
He's extraordinaire, a producer extraordinaire.
Yeah. He's a
local producer and community member,
entrepreneur. Dirty Sock Studios number 19.
Yeah.
What number are we on now?
I don't even know anymore, man.
Yeah,
it's been a minute since I've counted, so I don't even know.
So look, he used to call his studio Dirty Sock Studios.
Dirty Sock Studios.
And anytime it moved, it was just like V1, V2, V3.
Yeah.
And now he's in the new studio, relatively new. It was like a year old now.
Just over 2, actually.
Just over 2
2
years
old.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
Hell yeah, man. I'm happy to have you, dog. You know,
Man,
people don't know, but this man is notoriously hard to get out of the studio, bro.
It's incredibly hard to get me
in
out
this studio. This is
facts.
This is a rare appearance. I'm glad I didn't have to bribe you or anything, bro. I'm so like.
That's what's up. What you got in the crypto world right now? I'll take that.
Oh man, dude,
man.
I can't even give that to you, bro. I got a few Solana and a whole bunch of meme coins I'm not proud to own.
I feel like you're like an XRP guy.
I am not a Ripple guy.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
I'm not a Ripple
All
guy.
right.
I know better than owning Ripple. I'm actually pretty well versed in the crypto world, but I just be making bad decisions, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm just an idiot. That's all it
No
is.
doubt. The bad decision world. I got you.
Hey,
You ever tried doing any mining?
Terribly, yes.
I got this little Doge miner, and I haven't even hooked it up yet. I just bought it.
Okay.
I just
you can set up your own machine to be a miner. All you need is some computational power.
Yeah.
When I first got my Mac Pro,
yeah,
my 2013 trash can Mac Pro, I was like, oh yeah, come on with this.
Yeah.
So it didn't really work out though.
Didn't work great.
No.
Man, it's almost like the science behind it is what your computer got to be a calculator to solve a math problem, and then you get rewards for it, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, dang, those rewards were like micro pennies. Now they're pennies. But you know what I'm saying? It's like free pennies they stack up eventually, I guess. You got millions of them.
They say that even a powerful computer can't compete now with the dedicated devices that are out there. Because I have a powerful it's just a Dell, but it's like an i9 processor with a crazy NVIDIA card in
Graphics
it.
card,
yeah. But yeah, apparently you have to get a dedicated device to really be able to.
Now,
to
once people
make
started
any
buying
money.
up all the NVIDIA stuff, it was over.
Oh yeah. Jensen is a genius, bro.
Yeah.
I read into what that man was doing. And it's like, first of all, did you know AMD, the competitor company, is his cousin? I was like, that's how it's crazy.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah,
it's always like that, isn't it?
It really is.
Yeah, and it's the man just kept on. You know, like semiconductors are so crazy, bro. It's like let's take sand and then beat it up and then make it do magic in a computer. I just don't get it, bro.
Perfect description.
Yeah.
I was in Vegas for my buddy's bachelor party, and I ended up having a beer next to this old British guy. I'm like, this guy's cool as fuck. I was like, were you part of the semiconductor conference that was here this weekend? Because I knew what was going on. He was like, I was actually speaking at it, and I was like, oh wow. What are you? He's like, I'm actually the head of. He said he was the head of computer science at Oxford University.
Wow.
And I was like, well, what did you talk about? And he just basically gave me the whole TED talk while we were sitting there having a beer at the bar.
Fucking super nerd, bro.
And he said his whole theory was that what is it called? What is it called? Something's law, Poe's law? I
don't know, bro. You tell me. Moore's law is the
Moore's law. Moore's law is like every so often it doubles the amount of computing capacity of a computer.
Yeah, that. Yeah, or is Moore's law where it's like anything can happen wrong will happen.
No, that's
Somebody else's
Damn it!
law.
I wish I was smart enough.
some
Murphy's
other-
Law. That's Murphy's Law.
Yeah, I was like, damn.
Shout out to Murphy.
Yeah, could you imagine how horrible a nigga you got to be like, yeah, everything's going wrong. Fuck it, Murphy.
Right.
But anyway, so this old British dude was telling me, he said that's over. He said Moore's Law is over because we've already gotten the semiconductors in your phone right now are 5 microns thick, which is like 5 atoms tall, basically.
Right.
So he said we can go a little thinner than that, but that's about it.
They're stacking sand with hieroglyphics written on it, and it's doing magic. I was like, I was trying to read it. I was like, yo, I'm smart enough, but I'm not. It's not downloading right now.
So they can't make them any small. They can't make a smaller chip than they're doing right now. You have to get into quantum computing at that point. In order to go any smaller. This is crazy.
This is a question that I think you might be privy to. So when it comes to like equipment, right?
Yeah.
Like how much. I know as you go. I kind of get I probably already know the answer to this question, right? But it's like how much does it matter when you're making music, especially at the level you're making at, the type of machine you're using, right? Like, could you still make the quality? Look, I was listening to your album on the way up here, right?
Yeah.
I got to track 8. What is that? Magic.
Yeah,
it's a fire ass track, fam.
Thank you,
right?
family.
And I was like, damn. Could I make this on Fruity Loops? Is it possible to do it on Fruity
What
Loops?
workspace do you use?
It use a hybrid of like an MPC and Pro Tools.
Okay.
Yeah. So, software. I mean, the digital realm is just zeros.
But Fruity
and
Loops
ones.
is pretty
Right.
legit, right? Like people can make really good music on Fruity Loops.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's
you
not
can definitely. It's just zeros and ones, man.
Yeah.
It's really just a matter of workflow and what I tell people all the time. Like, you got to figure out which Ninja Turtle you are.
Yeah.
You down to tell you got the staff, you got the side, you got the nunchucks, you know what I'm saying? Whatever.
Yeah.
You got to figure out whichever one works for you and be that Ninja Turtle. You know what I'm saying? Because it's all once you're inside the computer, it's all the same.
Yeah.
It just depends on which weapon fits you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now outside the computer, it's not all the same.
And that's the man behind the machine.
That is, that's things like what kind of computer?
Yeah, hardware.
What exactly. Like what kind of pianos, what kind of keyboards you got, like what all that stuff can be different. Whether or not you can play live instrumentation, what kind of microphones you got, what kind of interface are you recording through?
Does that make a big difference? Like, because I remember you telling me, especially, this was years ago, I'm probably a teenager still, where you were like, I could tell these are canned drums. These are not like recorded drums, like live drums or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, does that make a big difference in the like the relative selection of your imagination? It's like, oh, you got a dude right here on the drums, or you got like this. They like a million piece drum pack.
Right. Yeah.
Like the difference in that is what?
I mean, it is very possible. I do it all the time. It's very possible to make, drum samples sound like live drums on a kit. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But ergonomically, right? Like, you're always going to come up with different things depending on what's in front of you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, even as simple as to like what kind of piano MIDI controller you have, right? If you have like an M Audio jut or an actual SV1 hooked up via USB, like, you're going to come up with different things just because the mechanism itself feels different.
Right.
And that's the same thing goes for like live drums. Like, if I'm actually playing the drums at my studio, I'm going to come up with a different pattern than I would on my MPC, even using the same exact drum sounds sampled into them.
Really?
Absolutely.
Just because the way you're using the input is different.
Exactly.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right. That's interesting.
Yeah. So for me, I found the best way to move is, what do they say? The first sign of wealth is options.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And just so that, hey, when I walk in, maybe I feel like playing the drums. Maybe I feel like hitting some pads.
Right.
Yeah.
I got options.
Maybe I feel like calling somebody in to play the drums for me.
Let me hit up ELO. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
Absolutely.
Yo, Elo is a you talking about Ninja Turtle? He is your autistic savant turtle, bro. I seen this man just like, especially the last show I saw recently.
Yeah.
But like, the way he talks about music is unconscionable, right?
Yeah.
Yo, I'm not in the world, but he's like, oh yeah, I did. I'm like, yo, slow down, slow down. You're talking Chinese to me, boy. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to slow him down because he might be really excited to tell me, but it's just like I can't understand what you're saying. Cause how'd you find him?
Talking about what is he talking about? Like the instrumentation or the
I asked him one question.
The mastering or the.
I asked him one question. He'd take out one headphone, maybe even turn it down a little bit, and be like, "Well, John, it's these 10 notes in a row, plus this idea I got in my head that I'm dealing with, and I'm like, oh, that's not even what I really was asking for.
Yeah.
But I like that you're a nerd about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can't picture that at all.
I admire that because I was, it's funny. I was talking to Tierney about this yesterday. As I was telling her that, like, what a burden it is to speak at 128 bits, knowing that you're talking to 24-bit listeners.
Oh yeah.
And how much of a burden that is, anxiety on you every day.
Disheartening
to have to
almost.
dedicate a certain amount of computing and processing to truncation.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I admire the fact that he's like, no, I'm going to speak at 128-bit. I don't care if you don't get it. I love that.
I'm just going to keep going. Yeah.
Absolutely. I love that.
There's
You
no
know what I'm
bottleneck for the information. It's like, yo, please third grade it for me. It's like, I
saying?
can't.
Nope.
I don't
Fine,
have.
that's it.
You
I
do
only
your
know how to
best.
speak 128-bit. I fucking love that.
Yeah.
I love that. That is freedom.
Yo, that's you know what? But you know, bro, he's only free because you got him in an environment to be free. You know what I'm saying? Like that's like Aquaman on the Justice League. It's like the main's probably cold as hell, but we're nowhere near the ocean.
Yeah.
You know, and now you got him in.
Otherwise, he's got to change, or he's got to fucking end up in an insane asylum.
Yeah,
people
man.
like that. You know, like you gotta be in the right environment. To,
He's gifted, man.
Yeah,
Truly gifted.
That's cool.
Did you
Yeah.
put out a bat signal for that, or did he find you?
Did I what?
You put out a bat signal for that, or did he find you?
Nah, it was actually his dad.
Yeah.
His dad, Quinn, is from the Mound.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
okay, hell yeah.
And so I met the legendary Jason the Hater, you know what I'm saying? And when I told him I was from the Mound, he said, he was like, oh, then you know Quinn. I was like, nah, I don't know Quinn. He's like, yo, Quinn is like a legendary freestyler from the Mound.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I've never heard of Quinn. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so he introduced me to him. And me and Quinn just got up. One day Quinn came through to the studio and he had his like 13-year-old son with him. And his son was just sitting over in the corner with a tablet. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, yo, one day I want my son to come through and intern for you. You know what I'm saying? And I looked over at him and I was like, this man trying to set me up as a babysitter. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm good. And then like a year later, he came back and he was like, yeah, man, you know, my son, man, he's on the way. He's ready to be an intern. I was like, all right, cool. When he turns, 15, 16, let's talk.
You push him back one more year.
Yeah. And then, when he was like 15 or 16, he came through and, he had grown a bit. He was getting closer to adulthood. And I was like, all right, cool. Let's do our very first like high school intern. And I'm pretty sure the only instrument he played when he started the internship was drums, right? Because, he went to Stax Music Academy.
Right.
But like he was like playing my bass, playing Aaron James's guitar, playing my Korg SV1 keyboard. This man learned all these instruments without owning them. He don't have none of this stuff.
Right. So in short order, like in a couple hours, he was around y'all.
I mean, he would just come through and just play for hours. You know what I'm saying? The very first day, you remember when we was on the cover of the Memphis Flyer?
Yeah.
The very first day of his internship was that.
Oh, wow.
He showed up for his internship, and we was outside with the flyer. We was like, yo, come outside.
You part of the crew now. Take a picture.
Straight up. He was on the cover. That was his very first day.
Dang, that's
He's
crazy.
16, still in high school.
That's amazing,
Wow,
dude.
man.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So what's the company called?
Unapologetic.
Unapologetic Records?
Nah,
just unapologetic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he got an app. Cause so cold, he got an app.
You got an app?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool, man.
Unapologetic World app.
Yeah, it's available for iOS and Android devices for free.
Yeah.
Wow,
Hey, look,
shoulda-
I saw Tierney, which she's been mentioned twice. That's my other big cousin, right?
Yeah.
She's a person. But I was talking to Tierney after your show at the Pink Palette, the Mosh.
Yeah.
Right. And she was like, it was amazing. I was not gonna. It's like shit. You got a mad ass line. People waiting on you to see. Bro, it was like, how long was the line? Cause it was
Man, you know what? I'll just say this. Like days later, people were hitting me up saying that they just couldn't wait in the line. Like they saw the line, they wanted to talk to me and just couldn't. I don't know. I just know I was out there talking for a long time after the show.
Yeah.
And people kept showing up and showing love. I'll say this. I'll leave it at this. My son walked up to me, my 7-year-old son, after the show and said, "Daddy, are you a celebrity? You know? And I said, I don't know, man.
That's cool.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's the unconscionable affirmation you needed. It was like, yeah. Out of the mouth of babes, they say. You know what I'm saying? Hell
One
yeah.
day, John.
Yeah, one
day we're gonna have some kids.
Hey, look, I be trying to coach my little cousins to be like, yo, you call me Rich Cousin John.
They gonna start asking you for money. You better chill on that. I wanted y'all to know I was broke.
Right. Well, let's see how
my dad said, he said, James, don't get a house too big or people gonna be trying to live with you. I was like, yeah, you're right.
Man. that's a good lesson.
That's
great
Uncle
advice,
Mike,
man.
Uncle Mike lesson.
Yeah, Uncle Mike exclusive right there.
So you were up in New York for a while, right? How long were you up there for?
Yeah, I was up there for about 7 years.
7 years.
Mm-hmm.
And what was it? You said it was Quads.
I was at Quad Studios right in Manhattan. Yep.
So I know there's a lot of awesome people going through there. Who's the coolest person you got to work with? You know, not most famous.
Top
just like,
5 coolest.
Just the coolest.
To give you a range.
Man, probably. All right, so let me mention a few. Probably one of my favorites was Missy Elliott.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Just because she was just so creative.
Beat.
I think probably one of the coolest was a Canadian artist named Chaos.
Chaos.
KAOS.
Yeah,
I gotta check that.
K-OS.
K-OS.
I feel like I've heard it.
Yeah.
I feel like I've heard of that. What kind of music?
It like that stuff. I don't even know what you call it.
Yeah.
But it was like
Like techno.
Nah, it wasn't techno. It was kind of like an 80s soul kind of vibe. You know what I'm saying? It was different.
That's
you know
cool.
what I'm saying? He was probably one of the coolest. Probably one of the most epic was working with Busta Rhymes.
Yeah.
Busta Rhymes. Hey,
Yeah.
I love shout out to the Jamaicans out there, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Busta Rhymes. Hell yeah.
That rendition was crazy.
Hey, no, hey, look.
That's
Hey,
pretty cool.
last week we had somebody who's from what's it called?
Asbury Park.
Nah, man. What's name? What do you, no. Yeah, Springsteen. But old boy is
New Jersey.
no, not New Jersey.
It's called Asbury. I think it's called Asbury Park.
Your mom's from where again?
She's from Guyana.
Guyana. Yes,
Yeah.
dude was he was half Guyanese. I was like,
Yeah,
just
he
like,
was. Yeah,
yeah,
he's
you just like my
Yep.
cousin. And we was like, Brethren, hell yeah, where the roti at? His eyes was like, yo, where is it? I was like,
Facts.
it's not here.
I gotta get mine imported. You know what I'm saying? This is crazy.
All right, finish your story though. I wanted to say that. Right there.
Probably Busta Rhymes was epic.
I mean,
Busta Rhymes.
that's
I think-
that's a pretty good. That's pretty hard to beat. That I feel like.
Okay, so there's a negative epic one, which was Daft Punk.
Oh really?
Yeah,
Why was that bad?
man.
Tell that story, fam.
Do they wear the
You
Do they
really
wear
with
the
the story?
helmets all the time?
I don't even know this story. I haven't heard this story.
They're just in the studio.
Yeah,
You're just shaking your hand. They got the fucking
Well, he
helmets
got a
on.
mask on too, so it's like,
you got your mask on. They got their mask on.
who are you? I don't know. Who are you?
How real can I keep it?
Yo, 100%.
Dude,
100
down?
million.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
All right, bet.
yeah.
Yo,
All right.
this part of the podcast is called fuckdaftpunk.com. All right.
Straight up, I'm with that.
There you go. Hey, look.
I'm super down with that.
tell us,
Absolute.
tell us, Dean. Tell us.
All right, so we in there, man. This was like I would say this was in like the first 9 months of me being like an actual engineer.
Yeah.
Okay. This is in New York still. Hell
Oh yeah,
yeah.
this is in Manhattan.
Okay,
You know what I'm
okay.
saying? This is right on 48th Street.
Damn.
And yeah, so I'm in there. Yo, all I know is that they go away for a second, right? I'm working on some music, organizing some files. They dip out for a second. They come back like 10 minutes later. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Gacked up.
Top lip is looking dipped in
Ooh.
flour. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
You know, now I'm gonna be real, like music industry. So this ain't the first time I've seen this. You know, I've seen people walk in with bricks and like suitcases,
and shit.
handcuffed. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I don't even want to tell you that story, but I've seen some interesting things.
Yeah.
But you know, to see the way that they turned up, going back and forth to the bathroom. You know, I'm just trying to do my job. They start like vandalizing the studio,
What?
kicking over tables.
On some rockstar shit?
Yeah.
What the
Yeah.
fuck?
Start kicking over tables.
Wait, are
just
they
knocking over stuff.
American? They're not. They're from
I thought they're
somewhere,
European.
right? Are they American?
Yeah, no, they're not American.
They're not. They're
European. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Those
so
fucking crazy European fuckers
Right.
tearing up the studio,
hey, so
high on coke.
this you ain't even heard it.
God
so like,
damn.
Oh, okay. That's what's up.
nah, so like then they start to throw wads of paper at me.
Oh.
Now, you know, shout out to New York. Shout out to the world.
Shout out the world.
But I'm from Orange Mound.
There
You know
you
what I'm saying? And I understand that they don't understand that.
Right.
They didn't know. So I had to have a little bit of grace for them for a little short period of time.
Right.
But you know, I look back and the assistant, you know, asked him like, please don't do that. This is very disrespectful, blah, blah. You know, because it wasn't really my place to say that. There are people in place to kind of manage that kind of thing, you know. And then they just kept doing it, man. They kept finding a way to disrupt me, disturb me, like pushing my chair.
They think it was funny? Did they think it was funny?
I don't know what the fuck they thought. I don't think they were thinking. You know what I'm saying?
Oh damn! You should have blooded their nose, bro.
Were they
Okay,
listening?
so
Did they have like?
Okay, let's keep talking. Let's keep
Time
talking.
out, but did they have like the same? Did they have like the new album like pumping in the background where they like fucking jumping up and down listening to their own music or like
Nah,
what?
I was just
what is getting them all?
listening. Look, Coke. That was the new music. Coke.
that good Coke.
Yeah.
That Daft Punk Coke.
Like Daft Punk, yeah.
Dude,
You know what I'm saying?
you know that's good Coke.
All right, finish your story, Dean. Finish your story.
All right, so you know, it just got to a boiling point where I had to kind of stand up and be like, "Hey,
Yeah.
do that shit one more time.
Yeah.
Right.
Do it one more time, bro." I was like, "Yo, I know y'all think I'm some nerd ass engineer in this bitch, but don't get it twisted." You know what I'm saying? I was
Right.
like, "I don't give a fuck who you are." You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now you know how it goes, right? You're asking somebody to do it one more time, right?
Yeah.
But by the time that you have to get up and ask that, you don't even need them to do it one more time. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like,
yeah.
that's just what you're saying as
Right.
you make your way over closer and closer to them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Cornering them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. You know, and so the assistant had to like, you know, hop up and
Get between you and them.
absolutely.
Damn.
You know,
I wish bro, that would be great. I would tell that joke on stage, bro. My cousin beat up Daft Punk, bro. Fuck y'all.
Euro
man.
Twinks. Fuck those dudes.
I like, man. I'm not. I promise. I'm not just saying this on some tough guy shit. I promise, because
I like Daft
that's
Punk
just not.
music too.
That
I'm a
wasn't
fan.
that
of-
wasn't my mentality. I'm not a tough guy like that. You know what I'm saying? But I swear, man, like, you know, again, like I had never experienced like that level of just blatant disrespect.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
that was just so egregious. It felt like I would be like dishonoring myself to leave you with a neck.
Yeah.
Like,
right,
yeah.
right.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
Because now they're gonna leave and think. And you see what I'm saying? Like now part of the world, the legend is like, oh, that dude's a bitch.
Yeah, I mean,
you
seriously.
You can't
and
have
nah,
that.
I couldn't do
you
that, man.
can't have
Yeah.
that.
Anyway, man, the assistant came up, and then you know, it was we were like going, you know, back and forth in it for like at least 2 or 3 minutes, you know, and then the owner came up, Ricky,
Yeah.
and you know, Ricky came and got me and took me down to the 10th floor, and they let somebody else come up and finish the session, but then they ended the session because those guys were fucking up that dude too.
Oh wow.
You know what I'm saying? And then they just left. You know what I'm saying?
Fucking
Did they
coked
pay?
up.
They paid for the session? Like
Yeah, they had the label prepay, so it wasn't really, they weren't paying up front. I mean, they weren't paying themselves.
right.
Yeah,
So where do you get off at
And
that, bro?
and that was how they recorded "Get Lucky." That was the story of "Get
So
Lucky."
hold on. So a few years later, Get Lucky comes out.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, "Yo, this is my woo," and I'm like, "Fuck these niggas, bro. I don't give a fuck about this song." I was at Celtic Crossing.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I was at Celtic Crossing the first time I heard that shit. I was like, "This shit is weak as fuck."
Right.
I was like, "Pharrell, you lucky I got love for you." You know what I'm saying?
Hey, look. Now the front running episode title is "Fuck Daft Punk."
Fuck
with the
Daft Punk.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm with that
I'm fine with
1,000%.
that.
Yeah.
Let's do
Look, okay. Look, if whatever we got to do to trick the algorithm.
I mean, that is part of the idea.
Yeah.
Usually, we just end up naming the episode the most ridiculous shit we said the whole time, which is probably the worst thing for the algorithm.
Yeah, probably.
It's a,
Yo, okay. So that's like 3 or 4. You got any more for us, Neem?
Man,
You got any cool stories?
I mean, yeah, the story I probably tell the most is just recording what feels like all of Harlem when Dipset came through.
oh man.
And that was the thing about Dipset, and this is why Dipset was so beloved.
So great because they're from the streets for real.
Not just that they was from the streets for real, they took the streets with them, right? So like, there was no recording session with Dipset that was not like 100 people in the studio.
Damn.
Like because, and here's why, it's because the label would give them a food budget, right? And
I already know. Come eat, niggas. Yeah.
Straight up. No, that's exactly what it was. The whole, like, every Max B, Hell Rel.
Yeah.
You know, it was just and the funniest thing about it would be like
Max B of the Wave.
those dudes was cool. Cam, Jim. They were super chilling,
Yeah.
right? But the dudes is from the block that had nothing to do with nothing. You would think they were like Jay-Z.
Right.
They was in there like bossing around interns and they were just really out here. You know what I'm saying? Those sessions were epic because everybody from the hood would show up, and it was all. And I'm just keeping it all the way live. There was always a few dudes in there that had like just got straight out of jail like days ago. You know what I'm saying? And you could just tell like they just had the jails, mentality.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You know what I'm saying?
I'm fresh out, finna go to the studio with Cuz.
And they had to find a way to try to punk you to prove like, shout dog. You know what I'm saying? Like they just be like that. Calm down,
Yeah,
bro.
right,
Like,
bro. Ain't nobody trying to steal your noodles.
Hey, yo, go ask Daft Punk. I am about that. Go ask him.
Dipset was legendary. but that's it wasn't just like that in the studio.
Yeah.
If you were to go, if you just get off on 125th,
Yeah.
there's a good chance Jim Jones is out there in front of Popeyes,
Right.
surrounded by 200 niggas, like,
Right.
and they just out there just chilling,
Just really
Like,
outside.
They was really about that Harlem life. Harlem had so much love and respect for them because they weren't hidden.
Yo, I saw a post on Twitter yesterday about Future. Someone made like an erroneous statement that you're from Atlanta, Charlie.
Yeah.
Right. So they said that like people don't know that Future was really like propped up by the label, right? And then someone was like, first of all, I'm from Atlanta, right? He was with the Dungeon family outside all the time. Like Future was he's somebody said, I saw Pluto the whole tape at an open mic for free. You know what I'm saying? Like he was doing all that shit like everywhere from you said from Gwinnett down to damn near out of town Atlanta. It's like and I was like, okay, there's something to be said about always being like being championed by your city.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't even know how you do that. Like I've been putting on for my city for a little bit and folks still don't fuck with me. You know what I'm saying?
Number one open mic in town right here.
Number one right here.
Has been the whole time I've been living in this city. So.
What did Gary Vee say? He said, whoever can give the most will win. Whoever can give away the most will win.
Give away the most.
And I think about that all the time, right? Because I think about how Unapologetic rose to local, visibility. And a big part of it was that the first 6 years we existed, we didn't throw not one paid show. Every show was free. And at every show, you got like free stickers. You know what I'm saying? And even when we threw free shows, if we asked somebody else to perform, we paid them, even though we made no money.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And so when I think about how much we had buy-in from the artists in the city, how much we had buy-in from the fans, it's because everybody, you either got in for free or you got paid. Nobody was paying nothing.
Wow.
For 6 years.
That's a long time.
Yeah, now, now it's different. Now
you stamped official.
But now we asking for money.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Now, now we got to get paid.
Man, I was disgruntled. I was like, the first my show you had, right?
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, man, I'm trying to pay. It's like, yeah, we have an issue with the payment. It's like, can I give you cash? I got money. I got like real money.
Yeah.
They're like, nah, we don't take money. I was like, what? I call him out here. He'll take my money. I know he will.
Definitely, I will.
So
and she was looking at me like, I just don't. I'm like, I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just like, I just want to be here. And But what can you do?
Yeah,
man.
So when you do a show, are you bringing your whole label out there with you? And when you're up there, are you like DJing? Are you like
when I'm
mixing
performing
your own?
myself?
Yeah.
I'm a performing producer. So
yeah.
I perform off of like keyboards and an MPC.
Yeah, cool.
I'm doing a whole.
You doing a lot of this? Yeah.
Nah,
how you feeling?
That's them DJs.
Put your hands up.
Hell no.
hitting little MIDI instruments.
Hey, look,
Drum
this
kits and stuff. Pads.
this right here is a Golden Nonsense exclusive. I don't even know this as a family member, bro.
Yeah.
How'd you do the jump with Desmond Bain? How did that get materialized from the Memphis Grizzlies?
Yeah. So, I mean, that was I don't know if you remember. I did a commercial for Memphis Tourism, where I was like the opening scene of the commercial was me, and the music of it was mine as well. It's like the one that like advertises Memphis.
That was in conjunction with the airport thing, right?
Yeah,
if you don't know, Golden Nonsense fans, if you fly into Memphis, you'll hear my cousin's voice. Welcome you to Memphis.
That's right.
Yeah, welcome to Memphis from my babies. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so
no way. That is you. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Holy shit. That's crazy.
You fly a lot.
I do fly a good bit. Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's really cool though.
Yeah, they hit me, they hit me up and said that, I mean, in short, that like Memphis was like a gold, I think it was like the best place for like young black entrepreneurs in the country.
Yeah.
Right. And so that when they thought about young black entrepreneurs, they said, like, I was the best of all worlds, meaning like I'm a young black creative. And at the same time, I'm doing community development. Yeah. I'm working with LeBonner. I'm doing all of this stuff.
You own a fucking building, bro. Big building.
Yeah, I own 10 acres in the first neighborhood built for by black people. Right. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, they said that I would be the perfect representative for this initiative. And then they asked me to score it and give them the music for it, which, by the way, they just found out on YouTube. It was a beat that I had up on YouTube. And they were just like, yo, this beat is perfect.
A type beat? Like
it was a beat. Yo, check it out. It was a beat I made in Brooklyn in 2008.
Damn. Wow.
Right. So 16 years ago, a beat I made is playing right now. It's like the beat for the city. It's crazy. You
That's
know what
wild.
I'm saying?
That's really cool, though.
Yeah, bro. I'm so tired of you. I'm so tired of you flossing. I know he's not flexing, but it's like, oh, I do all this cool shit. Damn.
I mean, you know, it is funny, man, because like it's always some like, it's always just, I don't want to say it's like happenstance or some sort of randomness, but it kind of reminds me of what my man Mike Doty said, man. Mike Doty said something that I thought was brilliantly put. It wasn't a new idea, but the way he put it was brilliant. He said, the trick is to be remarkable. And I said, yeah, I feel that. He was like, no. He was like, you have to be something that makes people have to remark about you.
Right.
He was like, whether that's positive or negative. He's like, people have to walk away from you and talk about you. That's the goal.
Hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I think when you prioritize that, whatever that it looks like for you, right?
Yeah.
And so for me, it's like, I have bold, daring, controversial opinions about a lot of things that are pretty granularly thought out, right? I have long ass posts on Facebook to prove it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then I also surround myself with a whole bunch of crazy musicians, and we do crazy and wild things with interesting messages in the music, you know? And I think people champion our ability to be unapologetically ourselves. So when they want to be unapologetically themselves, they bring us along.
They use you as an avatar almost.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Like to show you how unapologetic I am. I done
Flow?
called in. Oh yeah, bro. Darren stayed with
Bro, like, well,
Darren stayed with the great playlist before.
What up, bro? That's what's up, man.
Yeah, hey, look. I had nothing to do with tactic working here, but it's a great addition to have him on here. You know
Hell
what I'm saying?
yeah.
Yeah. He's been.
Yo, this is legendary. I'm sitting doing a podcast with my cousin, Company Flow,
at the High
like
Hub.
Rwanda. That's crazy.
Hey, look, hey.
What?
Hey, we going straight to the top, young nigga.
Let's go.
Hey, look, you know, you told me this a young time ago. This is a family lesson right here, right? I think this was maybe after Uncle Mike had his heart attack and he moved back. I think maybe 16 or 17 and Czar, this is his big brother, right?
Yeah.
Came up from Orlando and you were like, yeah, we went to visit the pyramid. And you hit me with, it says they got to pay to get to the top. That's what Czar said to you, right? He's like, that's life though, baby. It's like, and he told me, I think he told me that.
How it is.
Yeah, I think he told me that like that night after y'all got back. And I was like,
That's some shit
I'm saying, yeah, some bullshit lesson.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, you ain't. Hey, look, I'll tell you a fucked up story, bro.
Yeah.
I was 15. Right? Or 16, whenever he moved back to Memphis. Yeah. And I would have his dad cut my hair for free if I didn't want to go to the barbershop and pay, right?
Yeah.
And it was wintertime. His now wife was there, and I had called the house, and she was like, Uncle Mike's busy. I'll ask Nemo, right? He's like, yeah, bro, come over. I was like, come pick me up. He's like, pick you up? Nah, you're around the corner. And I was like, bro, it's snowing outside. And so I skateboarded in the snow, fucked up my snowboard. My skateboard. Didn't know you couldn't do that at the point, right? And to get a bullshit haircut from this dude, he wasn't even really trying to cut my hair. He put it on like one guard and was and tried to line me up right. And I was like, dang,
Hey man,
that's what you get for not.
Hey, you got
hard
pay.
lesson, bro.
You gotta pay to get to the top.
Did you pay? So then you ain't getting to the top, bro.
That's just what it is, man. That's a life lesson, bro.
Yeah, bro. Fucking suck, bro.
Yo,
Well-
that's what's up, man.
Well, I had the pleasure of listening to the new Wands album
Oh, that's
on the
what's up,
way
man.
on the way home from work today, and it was totally up my alley. I really enjoyed it. I like a lot of really like weird experimental like bass electronic music. That's
Oh,
my
yeah.
kind. That's my kind of shit.
That's where he found his wife, bro. I didn't know that until I went to his wedding.
That's
Okay.
true.
I went
Yeah,
to
we
his
met at a
wedding, yeah.
music festival.
Oh,
We met
damn,
at
bro.
a-
Hell yeah.
specifically an electronic music festival.
Fuck yeah.
But no, like I really like it, and I do think that it's pretty out there. It's
Yeah.
pretty experimental, and when you talk about like being remarkable,
Yeah.
you can't just be doing the same shit everybody else is doing, right? Like when you're an artist, that's death, right? And
Yeah.
and so
The worst thing you can do is fit in.
yeah, fitting in. It's I think if you're especially in music,
Yeah.
if you're not trying to do something different, something that nobody's ever heard before,
Yeah.
you're not really an artist, in
Yo.
my opinion. I mean,
Bro, hold on. Say that again. Say that again.
if you're not trying to do something different
Yeah.
than what everybody else is doing, then you're not really an artist.
Who got the collection plate? Pass that.
Pass the
You know what I'm
cousin. Hey, Charlie, you preaching right now, Charlie.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And it's not. I mean, you can learn how to play somebody else's songs. You can do
Yeah.
something that's kind of derivative, and there's a craftsmanship to it. There's like a
Yeah.
craftsmanship
That
element.
that
But-
right there is the ultimate value in comedy, and that's why we love it. You know what I'm saying? Because
What's
you
that?
have to be original for the joke.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Or you stealing a joke? That's
Uh-huh.
that's death in your
Right.
comedy. You know
Absolutely,
What I'm saying?
absolutely.
And I I want to bring this up too because I was arguing with somebody the other day. I think it was Tylon or something. But it's like. You need to have a library of the previous things that happened before you, right? That's why it was like in Kung Fu, you got to study the greats or the masters because you can't ever, create your own style because you're going to unintentionally take something that you've consumed and then use it as yourself without
Yeah.
knowing where it's from, right? And you
Absolutely.
need to have a library in your mind. That's why, bro, I've been watching comedy since I was 12, 11, you know what I'm saying, stand-up comedy. And I know I can recall like Bill Cosby stuff from the 60s that were like on records only all the way to the modern stuff, and it's like that helps my creativity, and I just like that's like something that like Kanye said or whatever. It's like if you don't have this wide breadth of stuff that you're influenced by, then you can create something new.
Yeah.
Hey, man. I want to.
Is that crazy or no?
Nah, that's real as fuck. I want to riff off of what he said though. You know what I'm saying? Like I love to hear that from somebody that's not me. You know what I'm saying? Because I watched this. I feel like that's one of the biggest issues in Memphis. Is I'm about to get deep for a second. Just let me
Get deep,
rock. Let
get
me
deep,
rock.
get
All right.
deep.
So like, as somebody who looks at like the music programs here in the city, whether it's in high school, whatever, blah blah. I think a lot of what's happening here, and I think it's a little bit better now, but definitely a lot of what's happening here is like people are looking at music as like developing a trade, right?
Yeah.
Versus like creating artists, right? And so like when you're developing a trade, right, you're learning how to play an instrument. Now, the biggest misconception is that because you can play an instrument, you're an artist. No, you are not.
No.
You know how to use the tool. The
Right.
mechanism.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I can't tell you how many times I'd have been in the studio with people who play piano but don't know how to create anything on a piano.
Yeah.
They just know how to play a song they learned on a piano.
Yeah.
Right? They know all the scales, they know all of these things. But being creative was never
Taught to
How
him?
do you
taught
how
to
do
you,
you teach
right?
that though?
Okay, so that's where things get interesting, right? So I have a 7-year-old son, right? Yo, the other day, he walked into the crib, and I just heard like he has his own bathroom. I heard the water running in his bathroom, so I walked in like it had been running for like 2-3 minutes, right? So I was like, yo, what are you doing in here, right? He got nervous. He turned off the water, and I looked in the sink, and it was like a white, like, whatever, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, what is that? He was like, I'm making white water. I was like, white water? What are you talking about? And it was baby powder and water mixed together. Something happened at school that day where he got enamored with scientists and experimentation in chemistry.
Right.
Right? So he came home and was like, yo,
I gotta do this.
I'm going to invent some white water. You know what I'm saying? Now, why is that so significant to this current scenario? It didn't go over my head that he didn't think to recreate something that already existed. He didn't think to go and do something that had instructions. His immediate idea was to go and create something that doesn't exist yet. was to be an inventor. His
yeah.
idea of scientist was inventor.
Right.
Huh, yeah.
Right?
Hell yeah.
So with that being said, I know his father is me, and I probably have something to do with this, right? But at the same time, I also don't remember ever not thinking like this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But also, you could have squashed that too. You also could have beat his
nah.
ass and said, "Hey,
Nah.
this this fucking baby powder is $9 a bottle.
Right,
like,
right,
don't be
right.
wasting this shit."
I think it is $9.
And you know, you know, just over.
That's crazy.
Fuck, man, damn it.
You remember when noodles was $1 a pack? They're $2.
But yeah, no, I think over time, you know, if
Yeah.
you do get just like your creativity squashed over and over again, that kind of will take it away from you as well.
That's okay.
But
so
then
that's
also
where I
maybe
was
the
going.
most creative people are the ones who fought so hard against that anyway.
No. That's
and then
where I was going.
that's the most creative dude. You
That's
know?
where I was
So,
going.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
where I was going. Where I was
Yeah.
going was that I think everyone starts off creative.
Yeah, yeah.
I think the world just hammers it out of you, and some of us are a little bit more resilient
Yeah.
to that. Now, so there are other things that build resilience, right? You know my history well enough to know, in order for me to get here, I got to be resilient. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so that also helped me be resilient to not lose my creativity. If you come to my studio today, it looks like Willy Wonka's playground, right?
Yeah,
Because I'm
crazy.
still a fucking kid. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? I still have all of my imagination and all of my playfulness, you know, and where the place where I go to make money looks like a playground.
Yeah. That's fucking awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's you know, you can't remain naive your whole life, but you don't have to become boring and shitty and old.
Dude, that the creativity
Yeah.
being beaten out of you is I was thinking about this, right? You know, my mom could be overbearing growing up sometimes, right? And you know, trying to make me be a quote unquote good boy, and I thought that was encumbering my creativity, right? And I learned through that experience, right? Which was, this is probably on some real like benign Joker type thing, where it's like my mom didn't find me funny at all.
Yeah.
So I tried all the time to be funny. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I tried new ways to be funny. I read Dilbert, had no idea about office culture. Just trying to be like, yo, Ma, I got a joke for you. You know what I'm saying? It's about a dog in an office. She's like, what?
It's like, John, you never been to office.
Office, right, exactly.
What
The only
are you
office
talking
I mean, I was visiting her in her office when I was a kid type deal, right? And it's the idea that creativity is not necessarily a muscle, but a like a finite energy that if you don't self-sustain it, it can't grow, right? So some people have stunted creativity, right? Like there's a comedian I knew from named Lil Twin back in Knoxville. He's a great comedian, but he told me, he's like, when he went to prison at 19, he stayed 19 years old, right? And because he had a skill which was like cutting hair and braiding or whatever, he never got really drawn into to jail life, right? So he stayed creative, right? But he was like, getting out of jail, he stayed that 19-year-old boy in a 40-year-old man's body, but now his creativity, unlike his peers in jail that were not creative themselves, they got out and were like, they had to learn how to just be again. You know what I'm saying? With him, he was like, oh, I got right back to it because I had creativity, right? And I was like, creativity is almost, it's like this wellspring that it can be poisoned or it could grow into like a, you know, like something that can power your home or what, you know what I'm saying? It could go, you know, it could put money in your pocket or whatever. Like, well, you know, one of my favorite lines is a I think Currency line. He's like, yo, my rhymes are a blank check or something like that. Or no, my pen is a blank check. Right? I was like, you know, the tool, which is writing, created a lifestyle for him, you know? And I've always been enamored with that because it's like, dang, the people that you can find great outside of like warlords and generals and warriors or whatever, they're always like smart people that put pen to paper, whether it be Elon Musk, whether it be Da Vinci, fucking whomever, right? They had an idea and then like created it. And that's like the closest thing to godliness, right? Like God created, and all men, the closer you get to godliness, which is creation, that's where you get more and more abundance in your life. Right? Because if you're like there's implementation, there's like, you know, managerial, there's the next level, which is like it's like creation is like the top level. If you can create something and then you have people manage it for you, and then you have people doing it for you, right? And it's like that's where you get the greatest level of satisfaction in this world. I think being a creative.
My bad. You got it.
Well, no, it's just I'm just thinking about the idea because you think you want to like instill discipline in children, right? And you want to make sure that I think that's really what it is, discipline. You have to give children discipline, but in creativity also in a way requires discipline. It needs because if you're not disciplined, but it's also I think a lot of the ways that what's that? Yeah, well, I think that I think that some of the ways that like as like parents, people try to instill discipline.
There you go.
I just think that I like, but there's ways that people are trying to instill discipline where I think they're like actually beating the creativity out of people at the same time. So it's sort of a weird. You have to have discipline to be creative, but also I think a lot of the ways that we try to implement discipline beats the creativity out of people. I'm
gonna get him to work for me at Outer Space, bro. Like,
he's an engineer, bro.
I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why, man. Because like what you saying right now is okay. So we every maybe twice a year we call out for interns. So interns can apply to be to intern for us at Outer Space, and they learn everything. You know what I'm saying? If you go to any other studio in the city, you just learn how to do basic engineering, right? But if you intern for us, you literally get to see me license music to the NBA or to whatever. You get to see me consult with the PGA to transform golf in the city. You get to see us change the community and build buildings and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, so, but one of the most interesting things about us getting interns is that because externally, like, we're just so known for like heightened creativity that we get people who apply who feel like, they'll understand me, they'll understand how creative I am, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then like they feel like it's a safe haven from discipline, structure, and all these other things, right? Because they think that that's the inverse of who and what they are.
Yeah.
Right? And so often I have to remind people, you have to be both.
Yeah.
Like
you probably have to be more, honestly.
And so the way I look at my life, right, is that like
warrior in the garden, baby.
It's simple, right? You can be creative all day, and I think a lot of us are creative from the beginning, right? But it is discipline and structure that converts creativity into some form of success, right? Yes. Right. Otherwise, it is a lofty thing that comes and goes as it pleases. You know what I'm saying? And I tell people all the time, if you're not trying to, I have no interest in being associated with average. None. You know what I'm saying? If you're coming to me to learn how to do something averagely, leave fucking right now. You know what I'm saying? Because that disgusts me. I want nothing to do with you if you leave here average. Say you were never here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now, if you're coming here to be excellent or something beyond that.
Remarkable.
Remarkable.
Come
through, my G. We can talk. You know what I'm saying? But like that division, this idea that discipline and structure is an inverse thing, like those two things can't live in the same person.
Yeah.
I hate that. I hate that society has made us think you're either type A or you're just
you think
creative.
You think that's propaganda to disrupt the artist? Because like all great artists people are attracted to have crazy discipline.
Absolutely.
Right? It's like you don't get the creativity, where it's I can't remember who said it, right? But you're like you're not allowed to be creative until you've mastered the discipline, right? You're not allowed to be creative until you have the fundamentals, right? Yeah. It was like it was when I was skateboarding, when I was high school, right? Old boy was like, how high is your ollie? I was like, it's kind of high. He's like, is it as high as your chest? Right? I was like, no. He's like, I've seen you play basketball. You can rebound really high. Yeah. If you're scared to jump that high on the skateboard, you're not good enough. You're not good enough to do the tricks yet because you don't believe yet, and that's part of it. Because like
you're Neo, bro.
Right?
You saw that Oracle,
bro. Old boy hit me with this. He was like, He's like, it's like if you just tried just to get your ollie as high as possible, all the other tricks for you would be easy because your base level of structure and discipline would be so dense that anything creative would be an easy to access.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, and so it's like, I can't be cold at basketball until I get a left hand drive, right? I can't be cold at comedy if I can't do crowd work. You know what I'm saying? Like this, people don't know this, but a part of me running shows all the time was because I feel comfortable in writing comedy and presenting it. I was never comfortable being off the cuff because I had a stutter growing up,
Sure,
right?
yeah.
So it's like I had to put myself in an environment or force myself to be as much iterations of crowd work or live interaction as possible.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And that's
That's the part that people don't like. They don't equate that. I mean, they don't see that part, so they don't understand. Like, you're gonna go up one day, you're gonna be fucking Chris Rock or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then you're gonna have to convince people that you once had a stutter. You're gonna have to pull up old evidence. They're not gonna believe you. You know what I'm saying? They're not, because, and I'm just being honest. Most people don't. I can't. Man, like at some point in your career, people are gonna look at where you are. They're gonna be jealous. They're gonna expect you to give them something that you have and make it easier for them than it was for you, right?
Right.
And, that's what unapologetic is. Unapologetic is a mechanism to make sure that Kid Maestro's first license in sync wasn't as fucked up as my first license in sync.
Right.
But it's not sparing him the lessons that he had to learn.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It's sparing the heart grief.
Nah, because all that stuff made me who I am, and it's going to make you who you are. You know what I'm saying? And do you want to be like that or not? Or do you want to be some microwave shit? And so, like, the part about you stuttering, like, you have to consistently tell that story. You know the reason why I tell the story of all the shit I went through all the time?
Why?
It's because it makes it impossible to remove me and what I am now from that story. So that way, anytime you think of I Make Mad Beats, you have to think about all the shit he went through to get here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You have to. Ain't no just looking at him up at the top and just all of a sudden he just magically appeared and he's always had this gift. No. Back in the day, me and you couldn't even have this conversation.
Yeah.
I said 8 words, you know what I'm saying? Like a day. You know what I'm saying? Like, it took me a while. I had to train. I had to get past my own version of that stutter.
Right.
And now I did TED Talks and get paid to do that shit across the country.
Right.
But it takes that work. You know what I'm saying? And that's the part that I find that story isn't told enough. Or it's told like 40 years later on Unplugged. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, tell that story right the fuck now.
Right. I never thought about that before, man.
Yeah. Voice that shit. Keep telling that story, man. Like that, I'll say this too. I'm a much bigger fan of people based off of where they were and where they are now than simply where they are now.
Yes,
right?
it's an actual factual right there. Yes.
Trajectory is everything. If I can see, we talking about crypto, we talking about stocks. If I can see where you started versus where you are, that means way more than your current price to me.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? And so how does
It's a
one
story.
know?
It's
How
a
does
story.
one know
That's
your
what-
trajectory? You have to tell your fucking story.
Yeah.
Right. Often and loudly.
And then people will invest in your trajectory.
That's the lesson, guys. We gotta get off the podcast right here.
Well, this was a fucking great one.
I
man.
told you, man. He's great. Young Neem's great. I love you, cuz.
That's it. Let's do it.
Hey,
Thanks
man.
for joining us, man.
Yeah,
Of
man.
course.
Dave, shout out. You didn't say a fucking words. Hello to the people, bro.
Big shout out to Dave, man.
Dave's a great producer, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, look, Neem, you're gonna be you're one of the episodes that we've got this first new setup. So you'll see your video episode here in a few weeks,
Big back.
and we'll have this episode out
Folks,
next week.
Go check out Unapologetic.
Episode 1, 2, 3.
Check out I Make Mad Beats.
Right.
Download the fucking app.
Wands.
Yeah.
Get
Wands
Wands.
is a
Wands.
sick
Wands is out.
album. It's dope.
Yes.
I like it.
Yes. And I will happily say that I'm gonna bother my cousin in the near future to have him back on the podcast. This was
Absolutely.
lit. This
Let's
was
do it.
lit,
This is
cuz
great.
I appreciate it.
Let's do it.
And as we always say at the end of every episode, Vaya con Dios.
Vaya con Dios.
Vaya con Dios.
I'll catch you on the flip side.